All right, so this is Minecraft, and you guys were generous enough to meet the incentive for all achievements, so I get to play probably one of the most complex speedruns I do. It's definitely the most complex Minecraft category, at least for vanilla, because you have to do a lot of things and go to a lot of places and such. So I'm going to be starting on a world on a set seed, so this is the seed I will be using. So it's the same world every single time. I can take the same route through the whole thing, so I don't have to constantly adapt to an entirely new world, because that would take many, many additional hours. Additionally, I'm going to turn cheats on. I'm not planning on using them, but there are plenty of things in this run that I can just forget about, and since I'll be doing tons of commentary in a very complex run, I can easily just forget to pick up an item and then 25 minutes later realize, oh, I really needed that, and then there's just no backup strat. And I want the opportunity to be able to finish the run instead of just mercy killing it. So if I forget something, if luck goes really badly or something like that, I can just use cheats to give me whatever item I forgot or failed to get due to RNG, but I'm not planning on using it. I'm really hoping I don't have to, but it's just there as a backup to make sure this run is in fact marathon safe. Otherwise, I think everything else is good, so we're going to generate the worlds. We'll call it Save the Animals because I'm a ferret after all.
And I'm a cat.
We have two animals up here. Let's save them.
Does a Yoshi count?
You're like a Yoshi thing.
It's a dinosaur. You totally count. All right, so now it's going to generate the worlds. We use an in-game timer to track world records and such because there's a lot of closing the game and reopening it due to a glitch we'll explain in a second. So I have that timer running in the background. I don't think you'll be able to see it. I happen to spawn on top of a tree, so that's always fun. Before the run starts, I'm going to change the difficulty to hard. You have to keep the difficulty on the same one throughout the entire run. That's just one of the rules of speedrunning Minecraft, so I'm going to go ahead and lock it. The reason we run on hard is it makes it easier to get an achievement later on, and because we get all diamond armor and diamond weapons and notch apples and such, you don't really have to worry about taking damage, so the extra damage from hard doesn't really matter. Real fast, just going to look through this to make sure everything's all right. And it looks like it is. All right. So we are ready to go. As soon as I unpause the game, then time is going to start. And I have this timer here, so I guess I'll take care of that. So 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so here's Minecraft all achievements. I'm going to start by punching a tree because this is Minecraft after all. I also have a ferret avatar. He's pretty cute. All right, so there aren't many like individual tricks that are difficult to pull off. So just so you guys know when to clap whenever I get an achievement, it's probably a good idea to clap because those things are difficult to get. So bam, achievement, yay!
Yeah.
I successfully looked at my inventory, and now I'm going to pick up some wood. Yay, some more, yay! So a lot of the early achievements are super easy to get, like looking in your inventory and picking up wood and then crafting some wooden tools. So that's not going to be hard to get, but a lot of the later ones, of course, are much more difficult. Here I'm going to be crafting some sticks and a bench, and then making those wooden tools. Go me. Oh, are you ready for this? Are you ready? Bam, bam, and one more.
Oh.
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 Combo. And here I'm just getting some initial tools and such. So here is the cobblestone pickaxe.
Yeah.
Dude, we're just killing it right now.
The APM is out of control.
Next achievement is getting iron, which is going to take me a little bit longer, but we'll get there pretty fast. Earlier I used a glitch called item duplication. Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah, that one exists.
We're going to be getting 33 achievements in this all achievement run.
Yep. Later ones are more difficult than the other ones. All right, so there's another one.
Yeah.
All right, so here I'm doing a glitch called item duplication. It's used to duplicate any number of items you want. This is, of course, a speed run, so much like any of the speed runs you see here at SGDQ, I'm going to be using glitches to do some stuff you would not normally see in Minecraft. And this one only works in single player, but it also works on any patch. I'm guessing they just never patched it out because it only works in single player, and you could just do creative mode anyway, so nobody really cared about it. The way you do it is you drop a bunch of items on the ground, whichever items you want to duplicate, and then you save and quit the world, as I'm going to do right here, so save and quit. And then reload the world. And then when the world comes back, you want to pick up the items, and right after they get in your inventory, you want to Alt F4 to close the game. And by doing that, when you reload the world, it tries to piece together what your world was like because it failed to save properly. So it looks to when you Alt F4 to see what was in your inventory, but then it looks to when you actually saved the world to see what items were still on the ground. And so that makes the items appear in both places, so you just duplicate everything that you dropped. I'm going to be using that glitch quite a bit throughout the first half of the run or so, because I'm going to pick up like 1 diamond and then duplicate that up to a full set of diamond armor, etc. So it is a very useful thing. Also, boats break super easily, and that's really annoying. All right, so here I need to find some flints. There's a 10% chance for each block of gravel that breaks. I got 2 of them in 7 blocks, so that's like super lucky. I need 1 of the flints so that I can make flint and steel. I'm going to be using that to burn some cows pretty soon. And I also need flint and steel to activate nether portals, which I'm going to be using pretty liberally throughout the run to get around. The next objective is going to be to kill a chicken. It's not actually an achievement, but I do need the feathers to create some... where are the chickens? I hear them. They're somewhere. Unfortunately, I just ran out of food. Once your hunger gets down to 3, you can no longer sprint, and sprinting is a good thing in speedruns. Come back here. Yeah, I got the feathers. Okay. So now I can just duplicate that 1 feather up to however many I need to make a bunch of arrows. And the next objective is to burn a cow. Yeah.
Save the animals.
Not right now. All right, so burning a cow gives you just the cooked steak, because when a cow is on fire, it just drops perfectly cooked steak. It's great. I also got cow tippers, so yay!
Yay!
That's the achievement for picking up leather from killed cow. And now I've done everything I need to do around here, so the steak is going to be my main food for the next 10 minutes or so. It's probably one of the most efficient early foods you can get. All right, so the most difficult achievement to get by far is adventuring time, and that requires you to visit every single biome in the game. There's some that are not tracked, such as ice spikes and the Nether and such, but most of them are. So a big part of this route is just moving around, traveling to all corners of this world to visit all the biomes like Mushroom Island and the more out-of-the-way ones. Right now, I'm going to hit the Desert Hills biome. I'm going to pull up this F3 menu, the debug menu. It's quite useful in all achievements because it shows you which biome you're in the lower right, the 3rd line up. And it also shows you your coordinates and where you're facing. And I'm going to need those coordinates to get in some very specific places later on. So conveniently enough, there's a desert temple here. If I step on that middle block, I literally just die, so I'm not going to do that. And I got gold, I got a saddle, which I'm going to need for an achievement later, and I also got diamond. And I'm going to start duplicating that diamond pretty soon to get everything I need. Now we're going to head over here. There's a lava pit over here, and of course you need obsidian to start crafting nether portals, so I'm going to put some water on the lava. And that'll get me all the obsidian I need, although I need to mine it out first.
Don't put the crafting bench on the obsidian.
All right, it's over there. Are you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to start crafting arrows, and then we're just going to do a whole bunch of duplication. So I need more arrows, I need more wood, iron, diamonds, gold, steak, crafting tables, and I think that's it. So I'm going to be duplicating my way up to a full set of diamond gear, as well as a bunch of obsidian.
Yeah.
I don't even remember which achievement that was. Someone tell me.
Those diamonds.
Yeah, diamonds. Yeah. All right, we did it. I'm going to be spending quite a bit of time duplicating here, so you have time for some donations?
Okay, we have a $50 donation from Ken V. Can't wait for Chrono Trigger, the best game of all time, and of course, kill the animals. We have a $50 donation from Silivren. This is a beautiful thing you do. Keep it up, but please save the animals. And we have a $20 donation from Noir Mom. Good luck, Fearful Ferret from Noir Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Noir's mom.
Hello, Nor. And Nor's mom.
All right, so now that I have 8 diamonds, I have enough to spare to start making the diamond pickaxe, and that'll get me my first block of obsidian. There is lava underneath most of these obsidian blocks because the water only got rid of the top layer of lava, but there is one block that I know of right here, which actually has a solid ground beneath it, so I can dig it out without falling into lava and just dying. Obsidian takes quite a bit of time to mine out, and you do have to place a lot of it throughout the run, so misplacing it can be quite a big time loss because you have to take however many seconds to mine it out.
Faster to dupe than to just start mining more of it, and you get other things duped, so.
Yeah, it's 15 seconds per obsidian block.
Yeah, there's a lot of routing that goes into trying to get all the items you need in the fewest dupes possible, so there are quite a few places where I'm going to duplicate my way up to about half of the number of duplications I need to do for a particular item, and then I'm just going to go about more of the run and then dupe that item later as well. So I'm trying to duplicate as little as possible, although given how few items you naturally get and how many you need, there's going to be quite a bit of duplication. I actually do this duplication glitch so much that I have a mouse that has some thumb buttons. The lower left thumb button is Alt, and the upper left thumb button is F4. I have yet to misclick that on any of my other speedruns, but I'm sure it'll happen one day. Still have time for some more donations.
All right, we have a $50 donation from Dragwa87. Have to get my donation in before my favorite event ends. Great job this far to everyone who has run and has done work behind the scenes. You guys rock. Kill those animals and save those frames.
So now I can make more diamond stuff. I'm going to make diamond armor, a diamond sword, and a diamond axe. I'm going to use the axe to mine out precisely 3 blocks, I think, but it's still worth it. There's a breastplate, and now we have diamond everything, which is pretty fun. Now I just need 2 more duplications of the obsidian. I also need to make gold blocks for later, which I can duplicate along with the gold. Then 1 more after this, and we're going to make the portal to the Nether, which will get us an achievement, because visiting the Nether is one of those achievements. The Nether is a very, very useful area for this speedrun because, first off, it has a number of things within it that you need to do to complete achievements, but it's also a very, very useful method of transportation. The way the Nether works in Minecraft is that for every 8 blocks you travel in the Nether, or for every 1 block you travel in the Nether, you travel 8 blocks in the overworld. So if you make a portal in the overworld, and then you make a portal in the Nether 20 blocks away, you'll have traveled 160 blocks in the overworld. So if you need to travel a long distance, then doing it by the Nether is just a very, very efficient way of going about that. So I'm going to be making my first of many Nether portals here, which is created by making a 2x3 area encased by obsidian, like so. And we're going to head off.
Yeah!
I have to pause here just so that the Nether loads in properly. I wait for the background to sort of change color. If you don't do that, then you can spawn within a block and it's super annoying. Come on. We'll see if that works. Yep, okay. So here's the Nether. Everything's on fire. It's a not very fun place, but I have to come here for quite a few things. Where is my steak? There it is. Due to the way that items are added to your inventory, it's very, very random, so I can't always assume that my steak is going to be in the upper right corner of my inventory and such like that. So quite often I'm going to have to just look around and try to figure out where things ended up in my inventory. Good inventory management is definitely one of the most difficult things to learn for this speedrun. You spend a lot of time just looking for stuff the first few times you run it, and even I just have to take some time to look around if I'm doing some particularly complicated crafting. So now I need to kill a blaze and get a blaze rod. There's a blaze spawner up there. Hopefully this guy just gives me what I need though.
Oh, yeah!
This guy is very much in my way and also lagging. Oh dear, there is some lava. That's not good. This is not yet the right hallway, so I'm going to have to bridge my way across, which I'm actually just going to do using crafting tables. I mean, when you can duplicate items, what you use to bridge doesn't really matter. I could have just used gold bricks. It would have been fine. All right, so now I need to do this at a very specific location to make another portal. If you make these in just barely the wrong location, you can end up quite far off course in the overworld. Just because, again, 1 block here is 8 blocks in the overworld, so a small mistake in the Nether can be a huge mistake when you actually teleport. And sometimes the portal just decides not to teleport you and it's super annoying. Come on. Okay.
Sure.
Now I need to pause again. I actually need to pause here for quite a long time because the world is sort of generating around me because I'm spawning in an area that hasn't yet been generated by the seed, I don't think. So if you come out too quickly, then some of the areas of the world will just be missing, and it'll teleport you around because it's confused as to where you are. But that works. All right, so the purpose of that portal is to take you to the stronghold. For some reason, I can't actually eat this steak, and I'm very, okay, there it goes. Very
video game.
confused. All right, so I need to dig down in this block. And directly below me is a stronghold, but since this spawn is on a mountain, it is actually very far down. So I need to dig down about maybe another 40 blocks, so we have time for a couple more donations. They're all around us.
Now, so he was saying earlier that we have we have to go to all the biomes besides ice spikes for some reason, but actually I'll let him do this part here.
Sure. So now I can get rid of my diamond axe as well as other stuff in my inventory that I don't need. Now is when your inventory becomes very crowded. So I'm going to have to make sure that I'm not taking anything with me that I'm not actually going to need later. I'm also going to pick up 2 enchanted books so I can make a sort of looting later on. Then here I need to pick up 9 pieces of string. Cutting it off the cobwebs is faster than just duplicating it because this goes pretty quickly. I'm going to use the string later to make wool, a fishing rod, and a bow. Then there are a few more things I need in the stronghold here. The first is this ender pearl, which is going to be used a lot throughout the rest of the speedrun. It's an item that allows you to teleport around, which we'll get to a bit later. So it is very useful. Creepers don't actually matter much because I have diamond armor, so they don't deal all that much damage. So I don't actually have to worry about being one-shot by really anything. The only thing that I'm actually worried about killing me is long falls, which can happen on occasion, or explosions. On the other side of this wall, about 4 blocks directly in front of me, there's a chest which has an apple, or 3 of them. And those are going to be very useful for crafting notch apples very shortly. Then here is the portal room. This room is where you get to the end, which allows you to fight the Ender Dragon and complete the game canonically. But there's a lot of crafting we have to do first. So I made some wool, I'm going to make a bow, I'm going to make a fishing rod, a few more achievements here, so I'm going to make an enchanting table, which gets us 1. Wait for it, there we go.
Yeah.
And a double.
Oh.
One more. I actually don't want to craft that yet. I need to dupe first. So you have to wait for it. I also forgot to destroy the silverfish spawner. Those things are really annoying and have knocked me into lava very often. Go away. And again, I'm going to burn up everything that I know I'm not going to need later on.
Now, when we were watching a practice run of this yesterday with Beautiful Ferret, he actually, right when he came into the end, got knocked off instantaneously, and we looked at him and like, what happens when this happens? He's like, I don't know. That's it.
Yeah.
It's over. So we're just hoping that doesn't happen.
That's much more likely to happen in any percent set seed than it is in all achievements, because in all achievements you can just use an ender pearl to teleport around, so getting knocked off doesn't matter as much, but getting knocked off by the dragon the moment you spawn in the end can happen, and it is the worst thing ever. So we're just going to hope that doesn't happen. There's a ton of inventory I have to do here. I spent about 3 or 4 minutes just duplicating items, so if you guys have anything else you'd like to explain, now's the time.
Well, like I was saying earlier about the biomes, basically he doesn't know for sure which ones he's gone to. Like he thinks he's gone to them, but you have to stay in the biomes for a few seconds, and sometimes the game maybe just won't register it, and if it doesn't, then he has no idea which one he missed. So we could just be doing some backtracking until we don't know where to find the right biome.
The achievement won't appear if you are not in the biomes for long enough, and it's very annoying because you don't get an achievement for every biome. So you might be missing some random biome, and you just don't know which one it is.
And the best part is it's the very last thing we get.
Yep.
And achievement. So the apple I just created is called a golden apple, but it's actually a notch apple, which is very slightly different because normal golden apples give you, I think, regeneration 2 as well as some minor resistances, and that's made by crafting gold bars around a apple. But I made gold bricks, each of which is made up of 9 gold bars. So I took a total of 81 gold bars to create a single notch apple, although of course with item duplication I just get as many as I want. And notch apples give you a huge amount of regeneration. It's regeneration 3, which is basically just you instantly go to full health. And that allows you to just basically not die from anything. It also gives you 100% fire resistance for, I think, like 3 minutes. So I'm going to be eating notch apples for basically the rest of the run, meaning that if I fall into lava, it's literally just water that's hard to see through because of that fire resistance. And I'm probably going to end up swimming in lava at some point because the Nether is a very dangerous place.
You need ender chests, by the way.
Yep. Forgetting ender chests is something that I do reasonably frequently, and I should really stop doing that. All right, so we're making some Eyes of Ender, which I'm going to need to activate this end portal. I'm also... All right, I'm going to actually need to concentrate here. There's a lot of stuff I need to do in this area, and if I forget something, then it's pretty likely that 20 minutes from now I'm going to realize that I forgot that thing and can no longer progress. So I need to be very, very careful to actually complete crafting everything that I normally craft. You can't do this with notes, although it takes a lot longer, so I'm basically just relying on my experience to make sure I don't miss anything. Let's see. I'm going to use these blocks of iron to make an anvil. I'll try to remember if there's anything else. I'm actually going to get rid of this water. Okay.
And the only purpose of that anvil is just going to be getting those 2 looting 2 books together to looting 3, which we're going to be using for getting a wither skull later in the run. You're also going to see him making a lot of beds soon for when we go to the end, and we are going to be killing the Ender Dragon with not arrows, not a sword, but beds. Maybe a few arrows to finish him off at the end, but we'll see.
Yeah, beds are very powerful weapons for killing the Ender Dragon. It's actually quite a bit of fun. Some of you might remember Bismuth's run of any percent set seed at SGDQ 2014, which was definitely one of the runs that inspired me to pick up this game, although I didn't pick up the game until a year after that. At the time, he was pretty much the only runner for vanilla Minecraft, as far as I know, and his time for any percent set seed was, I think, over 15 minutes, and the world record for that category is now 4 minutes and some small number of seconds, so we have improved that route massively. This game has had such a renaissance in the number of people playing it and the quality of the routes and everything. Like, it's been amazing to see. All right, so now I've completed most of the crafting that I'm going to need to do, so I'm just clearing out my inventory to make room for the beds that I'm going to need a bit later on. So I'm just getting rid of everything that I don't need. Let's see. And I'm putting all this in an ender chest because when it respawns me back at spawn after this fight is over, I'm just going to be able to lay down one of my ender chests in my inventory and get access to all of this stuff again. So ender chests are very, very useful for expanding inventory space. I think that's about everything. I actually need that obsidian back. Hold on. Looks pretty good. All right, so now I'm going to craft those beds as soon as I get the wall that I accidentally put in here. Where's my wall? There it is. Never mind. It's very easy to lose track of items again. All right, I think we're ready. So now we're going to complete the end portal by placing Eyes of Enders in it, and then we will fight the Ender Dragon. The Ender Dragon fight is canonically the end point to most speedruns, also achievement. So for this entire fight, I'm just going to be chugging down notch apples like there's no tomorrow. The enemies that populate this area are all Endermen, which do not aggro you unless you look directly at them, so I'm going to be looking slightly up or down just to make sure that I don't accidentally attract unwanted attention. All these things that I'm shooting are Ender Crystals. They heal the Ender Dragon whenever he's near to them. You can tell by the particle effect reaching from the crystal to the dragon himself. So he heals pretty quickly off the Ender Crystals, so even with the explosions from the beds, he heals much faster than you can deal damage to him, so I need to take care of pretty much all of these crystals before I do anything. Also, arrows have a ton of fall just due to gravity, so it's pretty tough to get used to the angle you have to shoot at to actually destroy these Ender Crystals. And because this part is a very important part of basically every single run, this is the area that probably takes the most effort to get good at. Because like if you're running any percent set seed, you need to do this fight absolutely perfectly if you want to get the world record. There's really no room for error. Since in all achievements this is a relatively small part of the run, it's not as important that I get a good dragon fight, but it's still something that I've worked hard at, and hopefully we can do well. It's pretty tough to keep track of which of these you've destroyed and which you haven't, just because if they're too far away, they won't even appear because they're like beyond their render distance. So you just have to mentally keep track of what areas of the end you've cleared out and which ones you haven't. Also, this is one of the areas that is randomly generated. The island I'm on is always the same. That was a really good shot.
That was a good one.
All right, so yeah, all of these crystals are in random places. They have random heights. There's a random number of ender crystals. I think you can get as few as like 1 or 2 of these ender crystals, although that's exceedingly rare. So this is about an average number of ender crystals and towers. I don't even know if I've already destroyed this one because I can't see it. So once you've destroyed most of them, you sort of look to where the ender dragon is getting health from, and that tells you whether or not there's an ender crystal near it. This is sort of a backup strat where you look directly up and get the arrow to hit the ender crystal as the arrow's falling, which is a strat that I think I invented. I haven't seen anybody else use it. All right, so now I've destroyed most of the ender crystals. I'll probably have to clean up a few later on, including that one back there that he's healing. I'll just do that right now. And once I destroy this one, I'll start actually exploding them up with the beds. On average, it takes probably like 3 or 4 bed explosions. Maybe not on average. Like ideally, it takes 3 bed explosions, but it usually takes many, many more, just because it's hard to get really solid hits on him. So now I'm just going to wait for him to charge, and then I'm going to place a block between me and the bed so that I take less explosion damage myself. And that'll allow me to deal a ton of damage to the dragon at once. I'm also avoiding shooting him with arrows in the meantime, because if he starts a charge and you shoot him with an arrow, he'll cancel the charge. And him charging is the only way to get him in range of these beds. So I actually want him to charge, and I want to make sure I don't cancel it. The reasons that beds explode in the Nether is it was sort of an Easter egg. Hold on. That would have dealt more damage, but he was partially underground, so most of the damage was just absorbed by the ground itself.
Also, you can't dupe, well, you can dupe beds in the Nether, but it can dupe the Ender Dragon, and you need to kill one Ender Dragon, but you don't, they all have separate health bars if you duplicate them. So it gets really confusing, and you have to figure out which one has the lowest health, and you don't know what to deal with that.
Yeah, I've had runs where I tried to dupe in the Nether as a backup strat, but I ended up just, all right, he flew through the pillar there, so I wasn't sure when he was charging, which is why I missed that. But yeah, I've had like 12 Ender Dragons at one time, and it was just a nightmare. It's pretty funny, but it also completely ruins the run because it's basically impossible to actually progress. All right. That was pretty good. Don't look at the thing. Okay. It's always nervous when you accidentally look at an Enderman and suddenly jerk your view away. The Ender Dragon charging is basically just RNG. So you have to wait for him to decide to actually cooperate. That was a very solid hit. And one more. All right, he's actually charging very frequently, which is very good for me. This was actually quite a good fight. Just need one more. Bows and swords do very little damage to him, so even if he's at this low health, like it's by far faster to just kill him with the explosion. Just gotta wait for it. So now with the experience that I get from killing the Ender Dragon, I'm going to be able to craft a looting 3 sword, which I'm going to need later on, and then we just hop in the end portal and achievement. All right, so after you go through the end portal, it just places you back at spawn, which is where you started the run. Or where I started the run, I suppose. None of you guys are doing shit. All right, so now I'm going to craft a chest. And I actually am pretty low on wood, so I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that first, as well as some ender pearls. And I don't need beds anymore, so I can just clear out my inventory of those, as well as other stuff that I don't need. Okay. So now I'm going to craft a chest. Later on, I'm going to do a death warp to return to spawn, and I can just get all my items out of the ender chest again. So the chest just here provides me even more space because, again, inventory space is very limited. My ender chest is there. It's just invisible because this game is well programmed.
We're going to need those gold blocks later for a beacon as well.
Yep. That is an important thing to remember. Which I'm not the best at doing. Alright, I'm going to make a couple furnaces because I'm going to need to cook a fish as well as get some glass from sand. Don't need diamond, don't need flint and steel. Only need 3 stacks of ender pearls. Everything else seems fine. Alright. So now we're going to start heading off to a few more biomes. We're heading off to the mesa biomes as well as the savanna biomes, which are in this general direction. My method of travel for the rest of the game is going to be using ender pearls. When you throw them, you will teleport to wherever they land and take 2 hearts of damage. Because I have the regeneration from notch apples, the damage doesn't really matter. And because I have duplication, I just have as many as I need. So ender pearls are a very good way of traveling in the overworld. For really long distances, you still want to do nether transportation, but for shorter distances like the one I'm traveling right now, just using ender pearls is the fastest way to go. All right, what is the coordinates for after the end fight?
Forest Hills, -500, 610.
Okay. We're gonna have to start being careful with my coordinates now. So -500, 610, which is right over here. Okay. So here is wooded foothill, or wooded forest. If I actually hit it, Forest Hills, okay. Then in this general direction is the mesa. There are actually 3 different mesa biomes. There is mesa, mesa plateau, and mesa plateau F. I don't know what the F stands for. So right here, of course it is. So here's mesa. Here's river, which is actually useful to hit. There are quite a few places where you can hit the river biome. So you just hope to hit it at some point where it's convenient. All right, so Mesa Plateau is right here. Then in this direction is Mesa Plateau F. Whoa.
Minecraft.
Yep. Teleportation and nether portals and such can do some interesting things to you. All right, so here's Mesa Plateau F. I'm going to sit in it for a few seconds just to make sure the game actually recognizes I was there. Then we no longer need the debug menu for a bit. So one thing I need to do is make a chicken lay an egg, which takes at least 5 minutes from whenever the chicken spawns. So there's some chickens around here, and I'm going to be relying on them to drop an egg at some point. And in the meantime, I can do a bunch of other stuff that's just convenient to do at this time. I'm going to need one of those crafting tables. I'm going to go ahead and make some glass, and then we can start fishing. Yay.
Yay.
Everyone loves fishing.
And you can actually do some crafting while you're fishing if you want to, if you're watching.
Yep, I sort of keep the bob in the lower left of my screen so I can see it while I'm doing other stuff. And that was a chicken running into a cactus because chickens are dumb.
They're also breedable.
With seeds.
And we have a catch. There we go. The achievement for the fish is to actually cook it, so now we need to cook it. Okay, so that's all the glass I'm going to need. I'm going to go ahead and craft some bottles. We're going to need to craft a potion later for a couple achievements, so fill that up with water, don't need the other 2, and achievement. I think that's everything I need to do around here, don't need the fishing rod, and now we assemble a chicken squad. Chickens assemble. All right, let's see how many we can get. I usually end up with probably about 10. So we'll see where they all are. The more you get, the faster on average you'll get an egg drop, so I want to get as many as I can. Chicken Senpai noticed me. Yay.
And he could just wait here for the egg, but he can also just start moving in a direction slowly because he has to wait for the chickens, but
Yep.
So start moving in the right direction.
Yeah, as long as you're holding seeds, chickens will follow you because they love seeds. So I can get another achievement in the meantime by leading these chickens over to where some pigs are. And then after that, I need to hit the Savannah Plateau biome, and then we'll do a death warp back to spawn.
Just staring right into your soul.
Aren't they, though?
And we're waiting for the sound. You can hear the egg coming out of the chicken.
There are a few audio cues in this game, and one of them is the popping sound that lets you know that one of them laid an egg. The egg is required to bake a cake. Cake is one of the most difficult items to craft in the game, and there is an achievement for it. You need 2 sugar, 3 buckets of milk, 3 wheat, and 1 egg. Pretty much all of which are not the easiest to get. I got sugar from the sugar canes near that river, and then leading around the chickens to get that egg. Here we have some pigs. There's an achievement for making a pig fly, which requires you to ride one off a cliff. Fortunately, we can just sort of manually make a cliff by digging into the ground. So now I'm going to hope the chickens don't go too far as I'm going about this. And the pig is wandering off, so I guess we're not going to use that one. All right, you look dumb enough to fall for this. Now we're going to need that saddle. And take a ride.
Just gonna leave him there?
Yep,
You'll be okay.
they'll be fine. Now we need to reassemble the chicken squad because they've been wandering off. It should be about this time, maybe in about a minute or so, that the 5-minute timer passes, which starts the period at which they can start laying eggs. So we shouldn't have to do this for too much longer. I think I've lost 2 chickens. Where'd they go? They've abandoned me. All right, we'll just deal with 6. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
All right, we got the egg. And there was another one, because chickens. I'm going to take it off my inventory bar just to make sure I don't accidentally throw it, because then it'll break and I will no longer have an egg, and that would be terrible. All right, so this hill up here is going to be the Savannah Plateau biome, and then we can do a death warp. Yep, all right. So now I'm going to put everything that I want to keep in the center chest, so my diamond armor, as well as all my equipment. Don't actually need that. Let's see. Everything I don't need, I can just leave behind. All right, that's good. So now I just throw ender pearls until they kill me.
You need one more ender chest? Or are you going
No,
back to spawn? Okay,
that's
good.
the last ender chest, so I no longer need to worry about those.
Yeah.
501.69, by the way, after suicide.
Sure. All right. So now I get to re-equip my armor and get back all my equipment, which I'm used to having in specific spots, so I sort of get all these items in a certain order. Okay. Then I can just put the rest in, however.
There are 2 very big RNG elements coming up. The first one is going to be trying to get a zombie to pick up a diamond is an achievement. And then 5-10 minutes later, there's going to be, we're trying to get a wither skull. And both of those can be pretty brutal. It could be 5 minutes or it could be 20, and hopefully it's not that long.
Yeah. This next one is one of the achievements where if it takes me like 10 minutes to get, I'm just going to finish the run without it because I really don't want to sit here for too long. It was a 500-169.
Yes.
Cool. So there's a zombie spawner directly on this block. And I'm going to be just sitting next to that zombie spawner and waiting for a zombie to pick up a diamond.
Make it rain with diamonds.
Literally. I'm playing on hard difficulty, which increases the chance that a zombie will pick up a diamond. So that's the reason for playing on hard, just for this achievement. And each zombie spawns with a set chance of being able to do it. So if the zombie does not immediately pick up a diamond, then I know it's not a useful zombie, so I can just get rid of him. So we just throw diamonds at them. It doesn't work, so we kill them and wait for another spawn. In the meantime, there's some more preparation I can do. My inventory becomes pretty much at its most cramped right now, so almost all of my inventory slots will be filled up with stuff I want to keep. Gonna need another bucket, redstone, wheat, more wheat. Anything else? One more bucket. Okay. Once this achievement is over, I'm going to teleport out of here using another portal so I can start constructing that. The achievement for this area is just to get another player to pick up with diamonds, but the single player way of doing that is getting a zombie to do it, so just gotta wait for the red zombie to spawn. Can also get the baking bread achievement. Let's see. How about you? Oh, there we go.
Oh, wow.
That was really good. Yep. I was very, very worried about that achievement because it can literally just take 20 minutes, but that is fantastic.
I did yesterday, so.
Yes,
Yeah.
it did. Before I gave up, so this is infinitely better than all of my practice runs so far. Trying to make sure I didn't forget anything there because that would also suck, but I think we're good.
Baking bread.
Yeah, I got that one. Oh, that was actually a really good throw, and I didn't trust it. All right. So throwing ender pearls in the end is very fast, but also very risky because it can just fall into lava. Because I have that fire resistance, the lava doesn't actually deal damage to me, but it takes a long time to swim up to the top and ender pearl your way out. So now I'm going to head off to some more biomes by constructing a portal in this general direction. So I need to dig a few blocks in here. Let's see. I think it's this one. This is like the first time I'm not confident about this portal placement, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's not too hard to correct if I'm just one block off. Okay. So now I need to place obsidian. Yeah, that seems right. Okay. Don't need the diamonds anymore. And the portal decided not to work again. There it goes.
Or, yeah.
You just walk out of it, and then it's like, wait, come back. I got
It's a
you.
bipolar portal.
Again, I'm going to leave the game paused here just to make sure the world actually generates correctly. All right, so now teleport in. Was it negative 155? Yeah.
Towards negative 161.
Close enough. All right. So over here is going to be the jungle edge and jungle biomes. So I'm going to step in jungle edge and then start up some more stuff. We're going to get an achievement for making two cows love each other very much. Yay. And now we can get the milk and we can make that cake. Which, as Norcat very well knows, is actually a lie. I mean, the achievement is literally called The Lie. Come on, man.
It's an advertisement for the next run.
Which is going to be great. Everybody should watch it. All right, so here's Jungle Hills. I actually may not have spent enough time in the jungle biome for it to register, so I'm going to be very safe and teleport back to that. And now I'm actually going to go ahead and duplicate obsidian and wood because I am going to need more of those later on, and I want to make absolutely sure that I don't run out. Duplicating in the overworld is much more consistent than duplicating in the Nether, and I'm not quite sure why. I think there's more lag, or possibly even less lag in the Nether. And the amount of lag can determine how quickly it updates where items are stored, so it can make duplicating more difficult to do.
There's another way of duplicating, which he most likely won't show, but you can explain that, I guess, if you want.
Yeah, if you do a frame perfect, or not quite frame perfect, it's actually redstone tick perfect, which is 1/20th of a second. If you pause on the same redstone tick that you pick up an item, and then save and quit and reload the world, then it'll duplicate that one item. The reason that isn't used too often is because, first of all, it's pretty close to being a frame-perfect trick, and that was a creeper, apparently. Those guys sure are annoying. And the reason that's not used too often is because it only duplicates one item at a time. And most of the time you duplicate, you want to be efficient about it.
It's not as hard as it sounds, though, because you can use buffering with escape.
Yeah, you can just continually pause until you hit the right frame, so it's not too difficult to do. Ow. Okay. So now we hit those biomes, we can continue. Now I'm going to be spending a bit more time in the Nether. Now is when I need to get a Wither Skeleton skull. They are a very rare drop from these black skeletons with swords.
Even with the looting 3 sword, it's still going to be a 5.5% chance every single time, and he's going to have to reload the game every single time he wants to try to get one.
Yep, but pretty recently there was a trick that was found that abuses saving and loading to continually respawn the same Wither Skeleton and kill him over and over and over until he drops the skull. So instead of just wandering around and trying to find like 20 different Wither Skeleton spawns, I'm just going to be able to kill one repeatedly until he drops what I need. I'm going to spend some time here, so now is a good time to start up the brewing stand. So I'm going to put in that water bottle as well as a nether wart. And I need 2 steps of that potion, so I'm going to have to come back later and add the next step. There are a few achievements that I want to get around this point. One of them is an achievement for reflecting a fireball back at a ghast. So I need to find a ghast. And the other is getting Sniper Duel, which requires you to snipe a skeleton from at least, I think, 50 meters.
50 meters or 50 blocks, yeah.
Yep. So I think this is about far enough. You can do it with any skeleton. It doesn't have to be an archer skeleton. So these are wither skeletons up here. Nice. All right, then this guy up here is going to be my guinea pig for getting that one thing. So I'm actually going to keep the apples on. Ow.
It's okay.
Oh
it's
no.
Okay.
Again, I have 100% fire resistance, so it's not a huge deal. I need to dig down a whole 2 blocks deep to trap the wither skeleton in. And most of the areas up there have solid blocks 2 cubes down, but unfortunately that was one of the areas that actually just has lava. It's not a big deal. Zombie Pigman agrees. Alright, so let's try that again. Alright, we'll do it here. Alright, so that is safe to fall under. So we're gonna lure him over. Hello. Alright, so I'm gonna attack him twice to get him down to 1 hit from death. I just have to get him to follow me down here. Alright, so now I'm going to save and quit, and then reload the game and kill him and see what he drops. And if he drops a Wither Skeleton Skull, then we're good, but he probably won't. So you can just Alt F4, and when you reload the game, he'll be back there, and you'll actually keep what he dropped the first time around. So you can just get infinite drops from whatever enemy you want to kill by doing this trick. And I'm basically just going to be doing this until he drops a Wither Skeleton Skull. Since I have a looting 3 sword, every time I do this, he has a 5.5% chance of dropping that Wither Skeleton Skull, which you need to summon the Wither, which is the source of 2 achievements. So I'm just going to be doing this until he drops it, or until I am like 10 minutes from now and super bored, and I'm just going to cheat it. So let's hope that doesn't have to happen. In the meantime, we have time for quite a few donations.
Okay, we have a donation from WJ Ferg for $110. Speedrunning in Minecraft? Well, I am surprised. Put my money towards the Wonder Shot. We also have a $250 donation from Matt M133. Longtime fan of the marathon, thanks for putting them on. I love seeing newer games like Borderlands and Minecraft. Donation goes to Runner's Choice. We also have a $100 donation from Pat in the Hat. I was super excited when I first read the schedule and realized there was going to be a Minecraft speedrun this year. I'm even more excited now being able to catch the run live before work. I thought I was going to miss it, but I am glad I'm able to watch this before heading off for the day. Please, take my money and never stop doing what you do. You guys are amazing, and I look forward to this event and SGDQ every year. We also have a $100 anonymous donation. First time donating, love what you're doing. Keep up the great work. And we have a $10 donation from Eric P. I'd like to thank you for the amazing content. It's always nice to see a bunch of awesome people playing games and gathering money for such an important cause. Well then, greetings from Germany, and of course, save the animals. We also have a $30 donation from Ori Biggie. Love GDQ. Couldn't believe how lucky I was to have this weekend booked off. It's been on the TV pretty much constantly. Given the amount of entertainment I've had out of it this year, I thought I'd better show my appreciation. All of the stuff I would have put my money towards has already been met, so save the animals. We have a $30 donation from Kaz17. This is my second SGDQ I've been able to watch. Events like this make me proud to be a gamer. Keep up the good work. And we have a $10 donation from Jay East. What's up, SGDQ? Germany calling. This is the first live GDQ event I'm lucky enough to watch live, and I love every minute of it. Yet after a whole week of outstanding entertainment, I decided it would be unfair not to return the favor. I can't donate much, but I hope that these $10 will help to make a difference. Greetings to everyone in front of and behind the camera. Let's try and make 1 million happen in the remaining few hours.
These guys are really mean.
They really are. Since the world record is determined by in-game time, and so little of this is actually in-game time, this takes much less time away from like your final time for world record purposes. So this is far, far, far more efficient than just wandering around trying to find wither skeletons, which was the old strat. And even in real time, this is still faster than wandering around to find them. It's just that this is such a rare drop and pretty much like the one RNG linchpin of the run that figuring this out was a pretty big deal and helps this be a lot more consistent. Another thing these guys can drop is stone swords, which have no purpose other than just to taunt you. So we can like sort of take bets in my chat about how many stone swords I'll get before I actually get a wither skeleton skull. We just got 2 in a row. That's actually like super lucky if you're really desperate for stone swords. Normally I'd be a bit more aggressive with just going to the cheat menu and getting the wither skeleton skull, so as not to bore you guys, but in this case, since I actually got the diamonds to you achievement really fast and I feel like the rest has gone reasonably smoothly, this has a decent shot at having like a good time objectively, so I'm gonna do this for a bit longer than I was planning, just so I have that extra chance at finishing a really fast run without having to use cheats.
And right now in the Minecraft timer, we are 39 minutes, 16 seconds, so it's like a 10-minute difference at the moment. And it's only, what, like, is it like a second or two for every single time you do this?
Let's find out. So right now it's 16.10, and now it's 17.55. So yeah, like 1.5 seconds every time I do this, and that's really all this takes for in-game. So since you have to close and reopen Minecraft, having an SSD or a really fast computer can be a really huge advantage if that's what you're going for. But since we do in-game time, having a really fast computer doesn't matter as much. It just means that you spend a lot more time waiting on loading screens if you're doing strats like this. Just so you have a reference, I have the world record right now with a time of 53 minutes and 48 seconds in-game. And I think this is about on pace to get within a few minutes of that, so I'm really happy with this run so far. I'm just really frustrated by wither skeletons because this guy's being a jerk.
Not a nice dude.
Nope.
Oh, and the reason we're only going to get one of these is because obviously we're going to be duping it. We're going to need 3 to be able to build a wither. But.
Yep. There are actually very few achievements I need next. I'm going to try to remember what they all are right now since we have time. Actually, my inventory just filled up since I now have 64 coal and it's going to a new stack, so I'm going to do a little bit of inventory management just to make sure that I continue to have empty inventory slots so I can see when I actually get the wither skeleton skull. Unfortunately, I only have 1 extra slot, so hopefully we get it soon. All right, so the remaining achievements I need is the one Return to Sender for reflecting a fireball back at a ghast. I need to travel, I think it's 1 kilometer on a minecart, although it might just be half a kilometer.
Yeah, it's 1 kilometer, 1,000 blocks on minecart.
All right, that's quite a large distance, but we have an interesting way of going about that, which will come up in a bit.
Yes. He will not be placing 1,000 tracks, don't worry.
Heck no. There's also the achievements for summoning and destroying the Wither, which is going to be the thing I do just as soon as I can get this Wither Skeleton Skull to drop. I need to craft a beacon, and I still need to visit the remaining biomes. And I believe that is all the achievements left, so I think that's just about 6 of the 32 total.
Casually, you have to get 3 of these without doing this, so it's a little bit annoying if you want to play this game normally.
Yeah, and without a looting 3 sword, the drop chance is only, I think, 2.5%, so you have to kill, on average, 40 skeletons just to get 1 skull. So you have to wander around and find 120 of these guys on average, just to be able to summon the Wither once.
So your inventory is full now.
Yep, so my inventory is full, so now instead of looking to see if the item is added to my hotbar, I'm just going to be looking down a bit more at the ground to see if it actually drops on the ground. And if it does, I can just drop anything in my hotbar and it'll immediately pick up. So now it's using a visual cue just by looking for it to drop. I'm not going to be going for this for too much longer, maybe just like 5 more resets, and then we'll go ahead and just use the cheat menu.
Come on, let's go.
All right, 4 left. Three. Well, there's a stone sword anyway.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right, last reset. This one or nothing. All right, looks like a no. We'll just have to make do. So I need to head back to my brewing stand to finish brewing that potion, so I'm going to add in, geez, I have so much stuff. Blaze powder, I'm going to go ahead and drop everything that I don't need, which is quite a bit of this stuff. Can also do a bit of crafting right now, or soon anyway. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and just do some of this. So game mode, creative. Give me that dang Wither Skull.
Everyone close their eyes.
This never happened. Yeah, just the fact that you need a very rare loot drop. Sometimes you're gonna have runs that just don't progress past this point. Yay!
Yeah!
I'm glad we were able to find something to be happy about right now. Is there anything else I need more of? Block of gold. Okay.
And that music is ominous.
That it is. Music in this game is pretty fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So now I need to duplicate that Wither Skull twice, so I get up to 3, and then we'll head off to the location where I'm going to kill the Wither, which is, I think, 130, 167. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Other question. 130. Yeah, 130, 167.
Okay. Again, duplicating the Nether is not as consistent as it is in the overworld because of something about how the Nether loads. So unfortunately, the first duplication didn't go through, but a few more and we should be able to get it. All right, that one worked. So one more. I'm also going to be duplicating other stuff I'm going to need, such as wood. I have enough iron. Everything else is fine. Actually, we could do more obsidian. All right, so now we're going to head off to the Wither location. You can summon the Wither anywhere in the Nether, but there is one location in particular, actually quite a few, but I'm just going to head to the closest one, which provide a very convenient way of killing the Wither without having to worry about having a difficult fight or anything. You can actually spawn him with his head stuck in the ceiling if you do it right. When he spawns, he creates an explosion which normally just destroys all the blocks around him, so it's tough to get this. Ooh, I got lucky and I got a, where's my bow? There it is. I got lucky and I got a ghast to spawn pretty nearby, so I'm going to take this opportunity to get return to sender. if the gas decides to just hold still. Come on. What?
Whoa.
Excuse me.
Actually, I want to be very careful not to kill him by shooting him with arrows. Gas die very easily. I think they only die in like 2 arrows. So since I've already hit him once, I have to be very careful not to do that again. There's really no easy way to aim these. You can sort of jump and move around to try to get a slightly better angle, but it's mostly just luck as to where the wither or where the gas decides to wander. And there we go.
And doing that with arrows instead of a sword is just better because you can return it right as he's sending it instead of waiting for it to come all the way to you. Obviously, if there's more time in between, then he's going to be able to move more. It'll be harder to do.
That's the wrong item, and I almost killed myself, but we're good. All right, so now we're at 131.67, so this is the location where we're going to take care of the wither. The reason why this location is very nice is because there's a 3x3 bedrock ceiling directly above this block. And by spawning the wither directly under that ceiling, by using a sort of sideways wither summoning, whatever it's called, you can get the wither to spawn with his head stuck. And since he's stuck inside bedrock, the explosion that he makes upon spawning is not going to destroy the blocks that he's stuck in because bedrock is indestructible, even by wither explosion.
The game music is excited for this part.
I know, it's setting the mood for this fight.
It
Except
very
it's
much is.
going to be overhyped.
Yeah, just a bit. I mean, come on, it's a wither. It's a super difficult boss.
Right?
Yep.
Super difficult. So we can make a sideways pillar, which I think was added in the 1.3 patch or so. All right, so wither's coming up. Oh, you have no idea what's about to happen to you. The excitement is just beginning.
Ooh.
Yeah!
Here's a cool part.
All right, so now I'm on top of the, which direction do I, let's see, 150, all right. So now I need to travel a very long distance, and the most convenient way to do that right now is just to come on top of the Nether. There's a bedrock ceiling and a bedrock floor over the entire Nether. But by using ender pearls, you can clip inside blocks, and by just continually clipping inside a block, going slightly upwards each time, you can just end up on top of the bedrock. And again, every 8 blocks I travel, or every 1 block I travel now is 8 blocks in the overworld, so every single ender pearl is like doing 8 ender pearls in the overworld itself. So this is how I'm going to get to the very out of the way biomes that would otherwise take probably like hours just to travel through to the on the overworld just running normally. There are also mushrooms that spawn up here because the game was kind of confused and assumed you would never come up here, so they just didn't bother to like cancel mushroom spawns or anything like that. So I'm gonna have to travel a very long distance. In between throwing these pearls, I'm going to go ahead and look at my inventory and do some minor inventory management, just get rid of stuff I no longer need and reposition stuff that I'm gonna need later. As well as equip more ender pearls, yeah.
We're also going to be doing the 1,000 meter minecart thing in a bit. Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yep, I'm traveling to the point where I need to start that minecart ride because I need that minecart ride to end in a specific location. So instead of doing the traveling after the minecart ride's over, I'm just going to do it beforehand and take that kilometer-long minecart ride to exactly the block that I need it to end up on. So it's or what are the coordinates?
500, negative 500, negative 900.
Right, it's a bit more precise than that. Let's see, 497, 898. So head off to 497, then 898, and face negative X. Gonna have to do a little bit of crafting first, so we're gonna make some minecart tracks. Only what I'm gonna need, which really isn't all that much. So we're gonna make some powered tracks using the redstone and gold. Then we're gonna make some normal tracks. Then I'm gonna make a whole bunch of minecarts, because I actually need quite a few for this. Then we're going to place, let's see, negative X, sure, so 1, 2, 3. I accidentally put the crafting table in the way, so we'll have to get rid of that. All right, then from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, whoops. That, We need to place down some blocks. This is all magic, but it'll work, I promise. Put down the button, put down 4 minecarts. And we are off. Let's even leave a fire trail, because why not? So by placing the 4 minecarts in the stack, they all sort of bump into each other continually, and they have no idea what to do, so they just preserve their momentum going in this general direction. It's actually super precise. Again, the ending point for this minecart ride is going to be exactly the block that I need to create a nether portal on, because I set up the location so carefully beforehand. So I'm going to drop stuff that I know I'm not going to need and keep the stuff that I might need, because I've made mistakes by dropping stuff that I ended up needing later. And I'd rather not do that again. So this minecart ride takes about 2 minutes, so you have some time for donations.
We might want to turn down the sound too if you want.
Yeah, this part is super loud because it's playing a bunch of sounds over each other, so I'm just going to turn down the volume for this next couple minutes.
Okay, we have a $50 donation from Mr. That Never Happened Before. Did Fearful Ferret just mumble, "This has never happened"? I hope so. Put this towards Save the Animals because I love an underdog. We also have a $200 donation from Paco Taco. Haven't been able to watch much SGDQ this week, but the parts I have been able to watch have been great. This donation is going towards killing the animals and saving the frames. We also have a $150 donation from Fade Caps. Great job to all the runners and people behind the scenes. Glad to see a bunch of games I've never seen run before and hoping to reach that 1 million. Also, save the frames, kill the animals.
When this baby hits 88 miles an hour.
We also have a $30 donation from Divinitas. Greetings from Austria. It's my second year watching GDQ, and I'm enjoying every minute that I can actually watch. Too bad work stopped me from watching 24/7. Great job from all the runners so far. Thanks for all the entertainment, and keep on the good work. Also put this to kill the animals.
Did we ever introduce ourselves?
Oh yeah, we didn't.
That might help.
Yeah. I am Cloaked Yoshi.
I'm Noir. Cat, maybe.
And I'm Fearful Ferret. And Orcat is going to be running Portal in just a few minutes, so be sure to stick around for that. All right, so this minecart ride is coming to an end pretty soon. It ends when we get to 209 negative 192, which is going to be in just a few more meters.
I've been riding on the minecarts all the doo-dah day.
Almost there. All right, we're good. All right, so now that we're here, I get to go to some particularly out-of-the-way biomes, at least on this seed. First one is going to be Stone Beach, and then we're going to take a bit of a boat ride. We'll end up hitting ocean, deep ocean, and then some mushroom biomes.
Fun fact, the achievement on a rail is actually a reference to Half-Life 1. There's a chapter called On a Rail.
I actually had not realized that.
Yeah.
It's a very good point. I mean, a lot of the achievements in this are references to other games, like the Live for the Cake achievement and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically enough, the achievement on a rail actually can be completed without rails, as you just saw.
Yep.
Well, 3 rails, I suppose. All right, so this is Stone Beach, and I'm going to craft 3 boats.
Just in case one breaks on a squid. Always happens.
Yep. I only need 2 boats, but the third one is just in case one breaks in the middle of the ocean for no particular reason. Go away, squid.
And Squid was gunning for you.
Yeah, man.
So up here we're coming on mushroom biomes, which is of course a very rare biome and very interesting because everything is made of mushrooms, including the cows. Also, I'm going to turn the sound back up just in case there's like music playing and we can't hear it. But apparently not.
So this is the rarest biome that we're going to go to. There's also ice spikes, but we don't have to do that for the achievement for some reason.
Yeah, there's a list of achievements that's like stored in the game memory, or a list of biomes stored in the game memory for this achievement. And ice spikes is not among them, thankfully. I don't even know where that is in this seed, but it will probably take a very long time to get to. And now we're going to head to what is probably the most out of the way biome in this seed, ironically enough, which is the beach. For some reason, the beach, which is normally a pretty common biome, is really tough to get to in this particular seed. I wasn't around when this route was first made and this seed was first found. But this seed is a very good seed for all achievements just because all the biomes are reasonably close to each other and packed in groups so that you only have to visit certain groups in order to hit everything. There are like programs that you can use to analyze a particular seed where you just put the seed in and it'll give you a map of where all the biomes are distributed. So they generated a bunch of seeds, looked at all the maps to try to figure out which of them had routes that we may be able to take to get everywhere quickly. And this seed just happened to have a lot of biomes in a row. Although there's probably a lot of optimization that can still be done with this, like finding a new seed, figuring out improvements to this route. So this is, I think, the newest of the categories in Minecraft.
Do you want to explain boat sprinting, even though we're already done with the boating part?
Well, I just accidentally aggroed an Enderman, so let's take care of that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so you can sprint inside boats for some strange reason. Unfortunately, I got here at night, so there are going to be enemies. If you get the timing right, you can come here during the daytime and you don't have to worry about that. And I'm going to need to duplicate one more block of gold. So this beach gives you a nice open area, and I'm going to create a beacon on this beach. In order to get the Beaconator achievement, Beaconator because Wendy's, you need to create a beacon that has a 9x9 base. So you need a 9x9 base, and then the second layer is 7x7, 5x5, 3x3, and then the portal itself, or the beacon itself. So first of all, let's craft that beacon out of the nether star that the wither dropped. Then we can go ahead and start up with the beacon proper.
Okay, I have an announcement real quick. The marathon has just passed $800,000.
Yeah, that is just an incredible amount. Okay, let's see if I actually made this right. All right, that is one too many, but whatever. It'll just be a little bit longer on one side.
That's the spot for the pig. Oh, never mind.
I mean, I'm trying to build a pyramid to entomb him, but he's not cooperating.
A shrine for him.
Yep. So I had two bonus games in this marathon. One is Minecraft All Achievements, and the other is going to be Dark Souls 2, 2 players, 1 controller. And the combined requirement for getting both in the marathon was, I think, like $45,000. And you guys happen to come through for that, which is just so amazing. Like getting the privilege to run 3 games at a marathon and needing you guys to donate $45,000 just to unlock them is like such a special experience. And I really do thank you guys for all your donations. This has been an absolutely amazing marathon. I've been having so much fun. And it's really fun to be able to show off this stuff to you guys. So thank you so much for watching and donating. Yeah. All right, there's our beacon. If it'll actually give me the achievement, there we go. And we'll head back to the Nether. We have 2 more trips through the Nether, and I think the only remaining achievements, because I have gotten everything else, is just to visit the remaining biomes. So there are 2 more areas I need to visit. We need to hit the taiga biomes. Let's see where I am. Yeah, okay. We need to hit the taiga biomes, and we need to hit the snow biomes. So the first one is going to be the snow. So we're going to do some tricky ender pearl shots. Next one's going to be up here. What's the next coordinates?
It is
After beacon.
275, negative 92.
All right. So negative 92 is here, and then we have to head out to 275. Something that was patched fairly recently is that normally when you would teleport back to the Nether from the overworld, you would actually spawn 1 block outside of the Nether portal you made, so you would spawn like right there, and you would just fall into the lava. But fortunately, they patched that out pretty recently, so you actually teleport and end up inside the Nether portal itself. So before, on the old patches, I would have to make a little platform outside of the portal just to make sure I didn't fall into lava, but fortunately, I don't have to worry about that anymore. All right, so here's the cold beach biome. Up here is going to be ice plains. In this general direction is mountains. All right, here's frozen river. Then ice mountains. And those 4 biomes are all I need to do here, so we're going to head back. Oops, okay. And last coordinates.
285, 86.
Okay. Well, that pearl did nothing. It might have fallen into lava, and I will randomly just teleport into lava as soon as it hits the bottom, but hopefully that's not going to happen. If you throw an ender pearl into any sort of liquid, either lava or water, then it travels much, much slower. So it's possible to throw an ender pearl just into lava, and then like 10 seconds later, it'll actually hit the bottom of the lava. And that is basically a disaster whenever it happens. But if you can time it right and anticipate when it'll actually hit, you can throw out a second pearl after you throw out that first one. And since your second one is going to hit after the first one lands, you'll teleport into the water. And then the second ender pearl you throw will teleport you back above ground. So if you know you made a bad ender pearl shot, you can save it by making a second shot with careful timing. All right, so it's going to be the last trip back to the overworld.
And the moment of truth for the biomes.
Yeah, so the end of all achievements runs are always very tense because you can't track which biomes you visited other than just making sure you spent enough time there. So, I mean, even though I'm pretty sure I was safe and spent enough time in each biome to make absolutely certain that I spent enough time in each, like, it's still always possible that I missed one, just forgot to visit one or something. And that is always really unfortunate. So, this is indeed the moment of truth. So here's Cold Taiga. Hello?
Excuse me?
Benny?
Ender pearl.
There we go. Cold Taiga Hills. Oh, I have no idea why that one took like 20 seconds to land, but okay. Here's going to be Mega Taiga. Yeah. And then Mega Taiga Hills is the last biome. Once I hit that biome, I should get the achievement. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, time. So that's every achievement in the game. We got Adventure Time, which was the most difficult. We got Overkill for dealing 9 hearts of damage in a single hit, which I got while fighting the Wither. We got Return to Sender by destroying Ghast with Fireball. We made a cake. We got some cows to breed. We killed a skeleton with a Nerf for more than 50 meters, and so on. Yeah. So this run actually went quite well, aside from the Wither Skeleton Skull. I'm quite happy with it. The in-game time was 58:23, which is actually faster than Josh Gaming's PB, I believe, which is the second fastest time on the leaderboard. So that is faster than anyone else has done it, although I've done it faster in the past. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. So thanks for watching Minecraft, and stick around for Portal, because that's going to be amazing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.